This is a screencast for research tips, tricks, and resources. So many of you may be familiar with doing this kind of research, in which case this will largely be review. But if you haven't done considerable research for a research paper, this may be new to you. So I'm going to start with a topic on food deserts. If you're not familiar with that, it's the concept that not everyone has equal access to food. People may not be able to afford food. They may have to eat on a diet of fast food, which leads to obesity and all kinds of other health issues. There are a number of faculty members here at DePaul who focus on food deserts, but I'm going to use this as an example. So a good starting place is Google. So I'm going to go up here and open a new tab and type in food deserts. Google has some valuable information. First one is Wikipedia that I'll go to in a minute. But you've got other resources here. So USDA, Economic Research, you might want to check that out. So that's an organization, what it's doing. You've got popular magazine articles. You've got, it looks like an article here, and here's another periodical, Food Deserts in Chicago down 40%. So we talked before about bearings and path. Well, this is a good resource for understanding the current bearing of food deserts in Chicago. So it's Huffington Post. I might want to go explore that. But as you can see, it's kind of a hodgepodge of resources. But it's a decent place to start, especially when you're looking for organizations that are working in this space. But I'm going to go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a very good resource just to get your general bearings on the issue. It's not considered a scholarly or credible resource if you're going to cite it, but that's certainly you can certainly use it, and there's a number of different ways you can use it effectively. So the first one is just to get your general bearings with this topic. If you're curious about it, you heard something about it. So it's got a nice definition here. You're always looking for a definition of terms, and you're looking for related terms. So access, food access, here's an important concept for you, and there's a nice definition here. There's also history, causes, problems. So this is probably a good resource to read fairly thoroughly. You'll notice, if you've ever used Wikipedia before, there are footnotes here. These can lead to very good resources. Sometimes they're just kind of popular or references that aren't very helpful. But if I scroll down here, you've got some data that comes from someplace. So this ebony looks like a pretty good resource. I could explore that. So this is one way to start collecting resources. But it's very good to get your bearings for this. Now, once you have some terms and concepts, you might want to just jot these down on a blank piece of paper. What are 5 related terms or search terms? Once you have a decent bearing for what you want to do, go back to the D2L page and click on the library link. This is going to take you to our library's portal. And here is a search box, which is kind of like Google, but it will yield very different results because we have access as members of the DePaul community to millions of dollars worth of information that is not available to if you use Google. So I'm going to put in food deserts here and click search, and we'll see what comes up. So this is kind of a general interface. You'll notice this is also a hodgepodge of resources. So wildlife of the deserts, not related, the biology of deserts, where our food comes from. But here's a great book. Lester Brown is a significant thinker in terms of sustainability. So you might want to check out this. Plus there's another term that's related to food deserts, and that's food security. So this is a pretty good resource. But these are all books. If I go over to the left, I can filter these results by various things. If I want books or images, videos, but one of the first places to look is peer-reviewed articles. So I click that, and the results are now filtered. And you can see publication Rural Sociology. These are generally very reputable peer-reviewed journals. So you're going to want to browse around these. You'll notice the E right here. That means you can view the full text of the article. And this is very helpful, so you don't have to go into the library. But you may find down here, for example, detriments of food deserts. This is available in the university library, but you've got to go hunt it down. If you are making a trip to the library, make sure you have 10 or 15 resources you want to get. So don't go to the library just for one, just to make your time more efficient. But I'll show you, let's see, okay, an economic view of food deserts in the United States. So that looks interesting. I'm going to click View Now, view the full text, and it's going to take me to a place where I can get it. Right here, I can get the full PDF. I actually encourage you to download it and save it onto a jump drive or an online folder or something, because within the PDF you can then do word searches and things like that to make the resource more readily available. But the most important piece of information is this abstract right here. And this will give you a good sense of not only what's in the article, but related terms and concepts that you may then go back and do another search based on these things. So if you browse it and you find that it's potentially interesting, download it, save it, and you may choose to include that in your annotated bibliography. But those are some general tips and tricks for doing research and research strategies. But the most important thing to do is to identify terms and concepts and define them. Figure out how other people are using these terms, and make sure in your stakeholder analysis paper that anytime you use a technical term, you provide a definition and cite a source. So I'm not interested in your interpretation of this definition. I want to use how the definition that's being used in a broader community. But that is a pretty good overview of some tips and tricks for doing research.